Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a general collective tarot oracle reading. This is for the middle of July, the middle 10 days. And Cancer, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Cancer, which house is Cancer in? That will tell you where this information lies for you. Also, this is a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, we're going to begin with the underlying energy. From the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is talking about a divine gift. So this is the universe and God collaborating to give you a gift from above. This is a gift of love. And this is talking about a divine love, a partner that God has chosen that would bring peace to your life, and it would be everlasting, overflowing love. And you notice here, this is talking also, there's water lilies growing, and out of the mud, that's how water lilies grow. So beautiful things can come out of difficult times. And this sometimes can also, the cups of love don't have to be about romantic love. This one quite often is, but it could also be about love for anyone or anything, and also something you love to do or something you love to be. And the aces are talking about new love. So this would be someone that you have not had an intimate relationship with as of yet. So a Knight of Swords energy. This is talking about information, communication coming in. The Knight of Swords is sometimes considered to be like a fool rushing in. You can see he's stressed out, his horse is stressed out. The energy here is of the swords, that's the element he's representing. And the swords represent the element of air and your mental intelligence, discipline of your mind. We can see here that we can only see half the sword, and that might mean he can only see half of the information that he's bringing in. So it might not be the full story. As well, we can't see the point, and he might not be able to either. He's got a big red flag on the back of his helmet, and you can see how stressed out his horse is. He's pushing this horse very hard against the wind through barren land. Even the clouds in the sky look like they've been ripped open. So this, the horse in tarot represents heartfelt energy and passion. So this is talking about someone who's panicking or in anxiety, and they're either running away from something or they're running to something. So they might be running from this message coming in, is what I feel. And they might be running to the Hierophant to tell the Hierophant about it. Let's see what's going on here. We have this, so this is the underlying energy for the entire reading, and this is the underlying energy for the internal forces. Internal forces you do have control over. So this is saying you might be be really anxious about some information that comes in about a new cup of love coming in. Now, I don't know why that would be, unless maybe you've had a lot of difficulty with people in the past that you thought, were loving, and then they turned out to cause you anxiety. We'll take a look at this. We have, this is the Hierophant energy. Is talking about justice coming down from the spiritual realm to the physical. The Hierophant is representing that authority figure that's responsible for making sure that it gets done. You can see his right hand is in the form of a blessing, and this is saying if you're on the right hand of the law, then it's a blessing. If you're on the wrong side of the law, well, you've been caught and you're going to have to pay the consequences. Then the Hierophant is also talking about bringing that down from the spiritual realm to the physical through from spiritual court. So this is talking about if you're a religious person, you would this would be represented by people that are at the top of your church, your religion, popes, cardinals, bishops, rabbis, gurus, whatever that is for your religion. And if you're more on the spiritual side, it could be through meditation and prayer, connecting directly to source energy, to God himself, rather than having an intermediary. In either case, this information is just then going to be brought down to the 3D world, to the legal systems throughout the world, through the 3D court system. And these two monks here are listening to, okay, what needs to be done, and then he's delegating information for what actions need to be taken here. Then we have the Empress, and the Empress is talking about, she's in the major arcana. She is representing all 4 queens from the minor arcana. She has developed the qualities of all these queens because of going through so much in her life, and yet she's maintained an ability to stay on the right side of the law and be a person who is, doing her best to be the best version of herself. She's considered to be a very, very powerful manifester in the flow, in this energy. Sometimes considered to be pregnant with possibility. And so this card sometimes can represent a pregnancy. So if you're not wanting to be pregnant or get someone pregnant, be sure that you take care of that, because this is saying you're very fertile at this time. Also, we can see that, she's, as I said, a powerful manifester. And the way she manifests, like this wheat growing at her feet, indicates the way she manifests. And she does put her energy into it. She makes plans. For instance, if she wants to grow a crop, she'll decide, okay, is it going to be wheat or is it going to be durum? And then she's going to choose she decides, okay, it's wheat. And then she's going to pick the best field to grow that wheat in. She's going to check the soil and see if it needs any amending. Does it need fertilizer? What does it need? And then she is going to also make sure that all the rocks and anything that could damage the expensive seeding and harvesting equipment is picked off the land and taken off the land. Then when the opportunity is ripe, that's when she will seed the crop. And after that, she's an organic farmer, so she does not spray. And so she's like, okay, I've done everything, the time, money, and energy that I plan to invest. I've done all that work. Now it's up to you. It's up to you, universe. It's up to you, nature. Grow me a bumper crop. And she waves her magic wand and she moves on to the next project. She might come back and do the odd rain dance if needed. But other than that, until it's time for harvest, she's going to move on to another project. She's not going to worry about this. She's not going to get all upset if things don't look like they're going like they should. She's going to trust that the universe will grow her a bumper crop. And most of the time, that's exactly what happens. You can't win them all, but you can win most of them. And so this energy is talking about your abundance. So you're in a very abundant position, and it looks like you're looking for some sort of justice to come in, or you're the one who's responsible, like in the Hierophant energy, to bring some sort of justice in. And we have victory. Woohoo! So this is like 6 of Wands represents victory. It's saying this person has become a leader, and this is talking about your early communication in life. Maybe you always kind of stood out as someone that would be a leader. Like there's some old souls in children, that they just seem wise beyond their years, and you might be one of those people, especially with the sensitivity of Cancer. So this is talking about being in a position of leadership, and this is representing after a competition. This could be a battle, a competition, whatever this is. This could even be like, say you applied for a position at work, a promotion, and so did all these other 5 people. But you clearly came out the leader, and they look a little disgruntled, some of them, because they really wanted that position, the pay raise, the prestige, all of that. but they have to agree that you did come out the leader the way you've been carrying yourself. Now, this is talking about the reason why you are seen now as a leader is being able to contain your emotions and rein them in, as well as discipline your mind. And it's about being able to keep your shift together under pressure. And then we have the energy of the Five of Wands. Now you look at here, we have 6 here and we have 5 here. These are the 5 people represented here. Now it's interesting because this energy here is talking about adolescence, and we don't, this is the only card where adolescents are duking it out like this with the wands. The wands in tarot represent the element of fire. And it's talking about, they're made of wood because the wood fuels the fire. And this is about taking action, passionate action. So the competition, it looks like, this is considered, this card is immature competition or sneaky competition. You might not even know that you are in competition. Sometimes if they're really worried because you can see, oh, you have strong leadership skills, they don't let you know that you're in competition. So it's that type of energy. And, think about narcissistic cheerleaders. This is my Mean Girls card. The Cancer, sign of Cancer in the tarot is the 4th sign, out of 12. And this is probably the most emotional sign of them all. Think about the age of adolescent girls, like in grade 6 or so, grade 8, going into maybe up to grade 10. And, it's that girls at that age can be very mean because they are just figuring out, a lot of them are just starting their cycle and they're figuring out how to deal with those hormones. And if you've ever been a young girl that age or you've raised them, you know what I'm talking about. The emotions are very volatile, and particularly for someone who is in the sign of Cancer, was born in that sign. This is a very sensitive person generally, and quite often, very feeling. They feel emotions very deeply. And this energy is talking about that energy and how to strengthen yourself with that energy. Using that feeling to be able to get in touch with what you really, what you're strong to doing, and be in alignment with the choices you make. It can be very powerful energy. And so, but quite often this is a time when, like in this diagram here, well, this is a painting that I did for the Oracle Tales from the Vector. But this is, a lot of times there's this catty energy from young girls, and they can be quite mean to each other, and there's bullying and that type of energy. And this is, if you think about narcissistic cheerleaders, it's like they look at how my voice is going, and they made the team, and they rule, and they're used to winning. And they're at a competition, and they want to win that trophy. They always win the trophy, always. But there's another team there that clearly is better than them. So they're starting to panic. They're like, oh no, what are we going to do? And maybe we could trip them. Maybe we could do this. Maybe we could do that. It's that type of energy. And if they don't succeed, then their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes to make sure they do. So this is an energy of immature competition. It's when the trophy matters more than the building of character and the building of a skill set, which is what sport competitions are supposed to be about. So yes, it's beautiful to win the trophy. It's way more fun to win the trophy, for sure. But if you're in a position like this, you can learn from the competition, and you can have the competition inspire you and lift you to higher places. So, the team, they would just be better off accepting the fact this team is better than us. We got to go out there and do our absolute best. And let's watch them, and let's see how are they doing those moves, and how do they keep it so together. And at practice next week, we are going to work our butts off to be like that. And if every single person on the team is even only 1% better, and they all come together in this way, the whole team is going to be that much better. And so this is talking how competition is at any point. You're better off to learn from the competition and be inspired by it than to focus just on winning the trophy. And easier said than done at times. This is talking about your home life. You may have had, this quite often can represent sibling rivalry. And you might have had you might have come from a large family where there was a lot of activity, or it can also talk about a lot of sibling rivalry. And, a lot of times people wonder why that is. Well, if you do have a belief in karma, it might help you understand that quite often the people that we live with, that we are born, the families we're born into, we do have karma because we're here to clear it. That might give you some idea, not to take it too personally. The full moon or the new moon that is coming up on July the 14th is in the sign of Cancer. Now, the interesting thing is that when you have a moon, whatever the opposing sign is right directly across in the wheel, and that's Capricorn for this energy, that sign is also heavily affected by this energy. So Capricorn and Cancer energies are both going to feel this full moon, or this new moon. I keep calling it a full moon. It's a new moon. And the new moon energy is also at the same time we have Mercury went into retrograde on June 29th. And it's in the sign of Cancer as well. So you can imagine, like, you've got all this emotion coming out because of the moon energy. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so it's doubling up on that. And we have Mercury that's gone retrograde into the sign of Cancer. So you add all that emotion and you add all of that, that energy of miscommunication, technology problems, all of that's going on during Mercury retrograde. It can cause major problems, not just in your home life. It's more your domestic, how your personal goals, that type of energy. And Capricorn opposing this energy is your public image, your career, your reputation. And so this is a back and forth energy that a lot of people are feeling right now. The more even your domestic, your at home lifestyle is and how it's coordinated with your public image, reputation, how much they are the same, the less friction there's going to be here. And we do have a Chariot coming in here, and this is in your romance, children, and creativity. So this is talking about, I feel like you're you're kind of on a roll here, like you're moving forward. You're not worried about the competition. I don't feel that you are. You might personally be hurt by it. It might be people that are very close to you that are in this energy with you. They might be jealous because you won, and they really wanted it too. So it's just sibling rivalry is it's kind of almost like a natural thing. So we see it in litters of puppies. There's always the runt, and then there's the leader of the pack sort of energy. But that doesn't mean that you have to stay that way. And so sometimes this energy is talking about it shifting, and maybe people don't. They liked you better when you were more malleable. So this is talking about this change coming through. This is talking about being on your destined path. You're gaining confidence. The Chariot, when you're on the Chariot, you notice there's no reins here. This energy, you don't have to direct it. It's on God's path, and you're moving forward, and it's already happening in the spiritual, and it's coming down. And it appears that there could be some need for justice, but this is talking about you being elevated to an Empress position. This could be quite a significant promotion or something that has happened that really raises you up the social ladder kind of energy. So this is happening on the spiritual, and it's on its way. And when you're on the Chariot, it represents it's like a tank. Tung, tung, tung. It's just going to run over obstacles. And you notice this person, though, is leaving the city. And this quite often can represent that you're going to have to leave your comfort zone and to be able to move forward and be on your destined path. you're not always going to win. You have to accept that. You have to be, you know, mature about that energy. And it's interesting because the sign for the Cancer energy is the crab. And, you know, if you have a bunch of crabs in a bucket and they're about to be dinner that night, they're just sitting out there on the dock, getting gathered. If one of them tries to escape, you know, the other crabs will pull him back into the bucket instead of following them out. So it's that kind of energy, crabs in a bucket. You know, people that you thought would want to lift you up, they want to pull you down because it makes them feel bad that you're that much better. You know, maybe you started out at the same place. And, well, you know, especially with siblings, you used to all start out in the same family, and you're maybe you're excelling at something they always wished they could be. So it's that type of energy. We have the Page of Cups energy, and the Page of Cups is talking about some sort of communication or information coming in. The Page of Cups is, all the pages are, you know, they started working very young, 7 to 14, because back in those days, the life expectancy was about half of what it is now. So this can sometimes give you a clue to where this competition is coming from, or where this energy that's holding you back is coming from within yourself, because this is the internal forces. And this energy can be talking about, you know, there's definitely communication or information coming in. The pages would work from 7 to 14, as I said, and then as they became more mature, they would be given more responsibility until at the point when they were 21, they might even be considered for knighthood. In the old days, this would always be a male, but these days, this definitely could be a female as well as a male. All of the characters in tarot are archetypes, so they are not gender specific. They're talking about masculine and feminine qualities. And this energy is talking about a cup of love. Now, this quite often can be, especially with, we have this new cup of love coming here, and now maybe there's some information coming in. Someone's actually wanting to approach you. You know, this page, he recognizes that there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he's really focused on this cup right here. And that's who he has his eye on. So this energy in the old days, the only way they had of communication long distance in any way was to send, you know, like they would send sealed letters, or it would be a verbal, it would be spoken to the other person, and then the information would be taken back that way. And the pages would be usually within the court walls, you know, and as they got older, they would be given more and more responsibility. Now, these days, this information would come in. You don't have to expect a page to show up. This could definitely represent online dating, and it could represent, you know, a phone call, a text message. This could represent communication through many, you know, the many platforms, the social media platforms we have there, messaging. This can also be an event that you see posted somewhere, a video or something that you see that sparks your interest, that type of thing. Information coming in that way, communication coming in that way. You might attend an event and then you run into someone, and that turns out to be someone that has their eye on you, and or you have your eye on them, or, you know, with serendipity, both of you. So I feel that this is talking about some communication coming through regarding this energy, and this is in your day-to-day life, you know, your the scheduling, your habits, your, you know, how you live. Now, if this isn't about, you know, romantic love, it could be someone or something contacting you from that time frame. So think about it. This could be someone from that you met or that you know from when you were in elementary school, high school, or maybe in early college years, you know, starting out on the workforce. This could be about someone from that time. There could be, maybe you haven't seen someone for 7 years, 14 years, 21 years, and all of a sudden here they are. And this is talking about that kind of energy. Now, be aware that with Mercury in retrograde, quite often people and situations from our pasts will come back into our life. Usually if there's unfinished business or there wasn't closure, quite often that will happen. So just be aware of it. This also, we're going to now look at the external forces. You'll know it's an internal force because generally the questions will be, what if this happens? Or what if I do this? Or what if they do that? What if I have to do this if they do that? It's the woulda, shoulda, couldas that could keep you in a loop within yourself. And, you have control over that to a certain, a high degree. You can, are you going to react or respond to the external forces? External forces, you don't have much control over that. You can't control if someone loves you, if someone, how they speak to you, what they say or do. You can't control the entire economy in the world and, and all of that. But what you can do is respond to it rather than react to it by reining these emotions in. This has been the underlying theme of all the readings right now. It's not a great time to be impulsive. And then we have this, I wanted to get this from the bottom of the deck. For the external forces, we have judgment coming in. So this is God's divine judgment coming through from the spiritual realm down to the physical. I'm not surprised to see this card because we have the Hierophant here. So there's something going on the spiritual level. The trumpet is blowing, the angel's blowing this trumpet of glory. And it's talking about, the ancestors are literally climbing out of their boxes. They're so excited and happy that this judgment is finally coming through. They may have had some unfinished business, your ancestors, from before they crossed the veil. And then we have the descendants waving across, and they're excited too because whatever has happened with the ancestors, you may be in the process of clearing this energy, on the spiritual realm. And it's a celebration. Yay, the bloodline is being cleared of this, what has been weighing us down, and can move forward in a strong way. So that's the judgment, and this is God's judgment, and cosmic judgment is going to be what is the underlying energy for the external forces coming through that we see here now. We have the King of Swords energy coming through. So the King of Swords is someone that the word is in swords with an S on either end. So this is talking about using your words wisely. Again, being able to rein in those emotions and use your words wisely. This is generally, this is a king, so quite often this can represent energies of politicians, government officials, that type of thing. That's people that are educated, that are using words and speaking, etc., for their way of earning their living. So this is talking about someone who's not likely to be physically, in physical labor to do their work. This would be someone that is using their mind, their education, their words. The swords represent that mental intelligence and discipline of the mind and the education. This could be politicians, but it would be someone high up because we have a king. It could actually be a king. This could represent also the energy of, a president, a prime minister, someone in the Senate, Congress, ministers in the federal government, people who are in charge of making the laws and governing the countries, that type of energy. This also can represent the judicial system. So this could be judges, head prosecutors. If this is a lawyer, this would probably most likely be a lawyer that is an established in, a partner in an established firm that specializes in different areas of law. We also, sometimes this can represent maybe a best-selling author on the New York Times best-selling list. This could represent the energy of someone who speaks for a living, research, engineers, people who invent things or are working on, research for maybe curing disease. This also could represent a surgeon, veterinarian, dentist, psychiatrist, that type of energy. And so you get the picture. It's someone that is using their mind and that's usually the type of career that they're in. And the thing about the King of Swords is they understand the power of words. They understand that words can be used as weapons, and they can also be used to uplift people. And, you know, if you do give your word, if you don't follow it up with action, it's talking about your word being useless. And this is in your creativity, romance, or your partnerships, commitments, and even spousal energy. So this could be, your partner could be, you know, one of those professions. It also could talk about the energy of someone, like we have this external force, is someone that is a business partner, or someone that is committed to bringing you justice, because we have God's judgment here. We have, we have the Seven of Swords energy. So this is a walking contradiction, the shift disturber, stirring the pot. We don't quite know what he's up to, but he's in your position of transition. So if this is the energy that you've been dealing with, this energy is, I feel the King of Swords is going to be taking care of this energy, and he's committed to doing so, to bringing in this justice. The justice is coming from the Most High. The Hierophant then brings it down into the physical realm, and this is traditional structure. This is someone that would be an authority figure that is able to, you know, make the, you know, put it into physical being, basically. And so the shift disturber, we don't quite know what he's up to here, because it's a weird energy. He's a walking contradiction. He has planted 2 swords here, but he's carrying these 5 away. He's on his tiptoes in these bright red boots and this bright red hat. I mean, he's in broad daylight and he's sneaking around like a thief, but, you know, everybody can see him. And the thing is he's looking back but walking forward. So he's not watching where he's going, and he's having to look over his shoulder. Now, this energy sometimes can represent an energy. You know, if he's a thief, he's not a thief in the night. This is broad daylight. So this could be someone sitting at their desk pushing paper. Remember, this could be intellectual material. This could be patents. It could be pushing paper. So he might be sitting at his desk and engaging in money laundering activity, or counterfeit, forgery, identity theft, embezzlement, that type of energy. And he's sitting there at his desk in broad daylight, and it looks like he's doing his job, but everybody thinks, oh, he's working so hard. He's one of our best employees. And the thing that bothers me the most about this energy is the way he's carrying these swords. Because I don't know if you've ever seen someone carrying swords like this. Put it in the description box below if you have. It's not the smartest move. You know, we've got like these very sharp swords, and if he trips here, I mean, he could really hurt himself. This is so dangerous what he's doing here, and he's not looking where he's going. He's on tiptoes. He's not thinking about what he's doing, or if he is, he's not thinking about it clearly. So this is really someone that, you know, if he's this dangerous with his own energy, how careful do you think he would be with yours? And so this is an external force that you've been dealing with, someone who is reckless, you know, and you know, could be dangerous to your well-being. So then we also have this energy coming in. It's causing you a lot of burdens. That's the energy. The Ten of Wands, it represents seeds that have been planted and actions that have been taken. Now, this is you bringing your harvest in, bringing it home. And you can see, look how close the home is. But his head is so up close, like he's struggling to be able to bring this home. And his head is so close to the wands. If you've ever heard the saying, can't see the forest for the trees, this is when you're so focused on the details that you can't see the big picture anymore. So, you know, this is saying you need to, if you're carrying burdens from any other people, you need to lay them down now, because the load is too heavy. Let them carry their own burdens. The other thing this is saying is sometimes with God's blessing, this is actually a heavy load because it's full of the fruit, the harvest from the fruits of your labor. And so it's, you know, it's something that's been, like, it's a good thing, but it's just maybe you need to find, you know, a better way to carry this home, like get a truck, you know, and bring it home. And this is saying also that this person is not, he can't see how close he is. And this for sure is saying, keep going, don't quit now, you're very close to your goal. People quite often will quit right before they're about to succeed. So this is in your higher learning. And then we have, oh, I thought this was 2 cards, but it's 1. We have the energy of the 2 of Swords. This can be definitely the Hierophant. It can be in this energy. This is control. This is about this or that. My way or the highway. It can be that type of energy. Someone who has a closed mind. And so basically this is saying if you have a closed mind, it's not the best energy to be in. This is talking about, there's some incongruent body language here. This person is sitting with their feet turned out, and this is like leaking masculine and feminine energy, and from the base chakra, which is about survival and, you know, what we need to do in the physical world to get things done. They have their arms crossed over the heart here. So this is about protecting their heart. They're feeling vulnerable. We have the right arm holding the left arm back. And that energy can be talking about your logical mind is not wanting your intuition to be used. And so this is this energy, the swords, they are double-edged. One edge is your intuition and the other edge is your logic. And if you put the 2 together, then this blindfold around the eyes could say someone just doesn't want to see or can only see the way they would do it. They can only see this or that, 2 ways to solve a problem. And this is not using that creativity here. You know, this is talking about if you use your intuition and your logic, you're much more likely to have a creative solution, and you won't be limited to only 2 choices, neither of which satisfies you. This is saying use your third eye sometimes. There's a saying, because you have eyes, you cannot see. And that energy, it sounds like a weird thing, but what it's basically saying is, even when people do think, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, when I see it, I'll believe it. But you know, the human eye only can see a certain spectrum of a bandwidth of the spectrum of light. So we really can only, even when we think we are seeing everything, we're not. Like my cat can see things. When I'm doing readings, she can be running around here chasing after things, and I'm like, what is she chasing after? So it's that type of, you know, like just because you can't, because you think you can see a situation clearly, doesn't mean that you don't need to use your third eye and be able to use your intuition as well. This is in your career and reputation. And whoops, wrong deck. We have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is talking about, you know, she's a container of love. Of the 4 queens, she's most likely to be in a traditional marriage. This quite often, like her cup here is got a lid on it, and it's saying that she's a container of unconditional love. This would be someone that would be like, you know, trad wife energy, going back, you know, a couple decades when people would stay home with the children. You know, there would be just one person working in the home. It's that type of energy, you know, we're making a beautiful home, loving the children, looking after the neighborhood, that type of energy. So this is talking about a very maternal love, and quite often can represent the energy of the maternal bloodline. So the maternal bloodline, you know, we have in ourselves, there's the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is like the energy, like the battery of the cell. And that energy is passed on from the mother to sons and daughters. But that particular part of that cell, the mitochondria, is only passed down from mother to daughter. And so when they do DNA testing, they can follow the mother's bloodline through the daughters back in time, because it's only passed on to the daughters. And this is talking of when this card comes up, it is sometimes talking about that maternal energy. It can be talking about your mother, grandmother, great-grandmother. If you're married, you have a spouse, that could be your mother-in-law and her maternal line. This can also talk about aunts. It can talk about, female cousins and sisters. So this, this energy, there's some sort of energy coming towards you, and God's judgment is here. Now that could be that they are under judgment for whatever actions are being taken. It's one thing to be an adolescent and be jealous and immature, but as we get older, we have to grow up, That's the type of energy. And then we have, the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is talking about a celebration, but the celebration energy is, they're not looking at each other. They are looking at the cups. So they're celebrating something, but they're not celebrating each other. And they're probably not celebrating you if they're under judgment from God. And this is your energy down here. This is the energy up here. And we've got this energy. Quite often, this can represent, in matters of romantic love, a third-party energy. And one thing I didn't mention, unless it comes up, I didn't want to take that much time mentioning it. But the shift disturber can also represent the 7-year itch. They've done studies of, statistically, when people who are married are most likely to become divorced, and it's actually in the first year, which kind of surprised me. But also the next most common time is in the 7th year, between the 7th and 8th year. And they call it the 7-year itch. That's when people are most likely to step out of the marriage, have a third-party involvement, do something to cause the marriage to come to an end. And quite often this card can represent that third-party energy. We have 3 cups here. If you've ever heard the saying, two's company, three's a crowd, that's particularly true in romantic love, unless you're in a different type of relationship where you've already made an agreement that, it's acceptable to do so. This generally is can be a deal breaker for a lot of people. And so this energy is talking about, also they've found through these, following the statistics and the studies, that this happens with people when they buy real estate. They quite often sell their homes between the 7th and 8th year. And it's not that they didn't enjoy the home, or they're not, it's just like, no, I want to move. They're ready to move. Some people just are like that. And then also it can be with businesses. So it could be being in a business partnership with someone, and the next thing you know, they come in one day and they're just like, the business is finally doing well. And they're like, I'm out of here. And they leave you, holding the bag kind of energy. So that's what this card can sometimes represent. If in a lot of cultures, if you don't look someone in the eye when you're toasting them, they'll get really upset with you. Particularly in Europe, they have a lot of superstition that if you don't look someone in the eye when you toast them, that it causes 7 years bad luck in your love life and theirs. And so they'll be, look me in the eye. So this is not usually, this external force coming towards you. I don't feel that it's under judgment. I don't feel that they are celebrating because they're happy for you that you have this position. All right, we're going to clarify now with the oracle cards. And if you're leaving the reading here and you're like, no, I'm good, I know what this is about, thank you for your time and energy, your likes, your comments, subscribes. I really appreciate them all. And I'm going to clarify with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck for the clarification. And this is from my oracle, Tales from the Vector. I do have the numbers on these cards represent the gallery on in my website, talesfromthevector.com. These cards are, this is how they're listed by number on that website. And I will put them in the description box below in the order they show up so that you can check them out. If you want to, you'll know which paintings to look for. We have denial. So denial is what I don't know won't hurt me. When it comes to matters of love, if someone's sneaking around and they're this careless, it could hurt you. So this is talking about get out of denial. And if your intuition is trying to tell you something, especially when a new moon energy is coming up in the sign of Cancer, it's probably pretty sensitive and intuitive. It also could be very emotional, so you want to be careful that you're not impulsive and that you're not running at the mouth, you know, like get your facts straight. This is also talking about Taurus energy. So this is the give and take in life. And Venus rules over love. So again, I feel like we have I feel this energy here it's interesting because it's coming, you know, like we have this information, this energy here, and this is in your commitment, partnerships, and relationships. So we have these energies here. And this is, I feel that this is someone could be coming back. You know, we have Mercury in retrograde in particular. Someone could be coming back from the past to stop you from having this new love. And they're panicking. And they're panicking because the Hierophant is in this mood, my way or the highway. And they're maybe have this authority figure working to bring judgment in of a situation. This is there are several cards here that are talking about a situation where there could be law enforcement involved. Sometimes the Chariot can represent that. We have judgment that could be from a judge. The Hierophant for sure it's talking about bringing that judgment down. We have the Empress energy here, that you've learned a lot from this situation, but they know that you're in a high manifestation right now. And we have this, you know, sneaky energy here. So I do feel that there could be, you might be in a situation like that. If you are, I feel like, you know, this sometimes can represent an investigation going on. Sometimes this could be legal or illegal. It can represent the energy of technology being used, and maybe some sort of glitch happened in their technology. This is the funny thing that a lot of people don't realize when they're engaging in this, and hidden cameras, gang stalking, you know, gaslighting, that type of energy. When whatever they are doing, there's always a digital footprint. And that digital footprint works both ways. And so I feel like there could be some energy, because it's not uncommon in Mercury in retrograde for communication and technology to work against you rather than for you. And then this is talking about the Manipura, the solar plexus. This is about being in an energy of, hey, if you're you're wanting this justice to come through, and you're waiting for the Hierophant to do this, you might even be the Hierophant. This is about having the courage. Maybe there's a lot of energy here, and having the courage to do the right thing. And then the dissemination is talking about information that is skewed, not uncommon at all during the Mercury retrograde, but it's also saying elephant. What elephant? When there's an elephant in the room, a lot of times I find from doing all these readings, when this card comes up, that nobody wants to see the elephant. They scramble the information, but you have to be careful with this, because you might be saying to yourself, well, I'm just one person, what can I do? But this is about, no, you need to, this is saying that believing in your own press can sometimes mean that you have a huge ego that's saying you're all that and there's no way that you can get caught. And on the other side, it can also be, I can't do anything about this. So it's talking about dissemination of information is the scrambling of information to make it harder for other people to understand. The Sun energy is coming in, and this is talking about, this is the happiest card in the deck, saying you will have victory. You are meant to be victorious. You're a child of God. The Sun is covering you here. When the Sun card comes out, it's the happiest card in the deck, and it's talking about God's energy, and that God has you covered. This is talking about the truth coming out. We have the foolhardy energy. This is saying that you're on, you can anticipate a good result because you're on your destined path. You're on the Chariot. The Chariot is, the Chariot is talking about your Capricorn energy. Now remember, this new moon on the 14th is opposed by the Capricorn energy. And this is about if there's been any damage done to your reputation, your and it's causing you not to receive the blessings. And sometimes this could be people in your maternal bloodline that have knowledge of this, of something that happened way back when or whatever. The skeletons are coming out of the closet. Let me put it to you that way. And this is because of ambition. And so normally, like when Capricorn is in really strong energy, it talks about seeing all the possibilities within the challenges, to be responsible with that energy. And, you know, it's a powerful motivation for staying on your destined path. But sometimes in this case, I feel like this is talking about seeing the possibilities and not feeling like there could be challenges there, but being in this energy of, you know, we'll get away with it. This is someone that has authority and power, not thinking that they can get caught, feeling that they're above the law. And I just want to point out, when the horoscope signs show up in my readings and it's general collective like this, I'm not talking about that individual person at all. I'm talking about the state of being of the signs. If you ever get your birth chart done, you'll find all the signs in there somewhere. And the Capricorn energy is very ambitious, yes, but it's also very responsible. And so this is talking about that energy going awry here because God is judging it. And then we have the Emperor energy, and the Emperor is talking about someone coming in here that is going to empower your daily routine. So they have their eye on you. This could be about something you love. Now, this Emperor could be someone who's an authority figure that also happens to have their eye on you romantically, but because it sometimes can be. But this could also be that this Emperor has their eye on someone who has been fishy in your love life. Something in your love life stinks, and there is something fishy going on, and that might be this energy here. We have the energy of this lawyer energy coming through, and it's sitting right there in commitment, partnerships, and you know, that type of energy, spousal energy even. So there could be an authority figure looking into something that happened that was smelly. You know, if you leave a fish out of water too long, or that was, you know, there was something fishy going on, and it had to do with your partner. This could be a business partner. This could be people in your inner circle, basically, and even a spousal energy. Now, we're going to get the underlying energy for the external forces. We have the Wheel of Fortune is turning. So this energy, if this has been having a really, because you're looking for this justice here, or you are this justice here. Maybe you finally have found a way to deal with this if you are the Hierophant energy, or this can be talking about, this is the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. This is God's plan coming through, and it's sitting right on God's judgment. So bottom line is, this energy is coming to an end. All of these external forces that have been coming against your energy and that you've been dealing with internally are now, you can anticipate this energy dissolving. The Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor, and it's God's judgment. So this is God's plan. And so you're not going to change God's plan. Look at it's saying you're supposed to be a star and you're innocent. And this could be a lawyer energy that has been working on this case, or someone in authority, a judge, someone with authority that is recognizing your innocence and is saying they're looking into this situation. The Hierophant energy is causing this. So we have, we have the Virgo energy. So this is talking about Virgo energy is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is about Mercury retrograde. So this is talking about this energy of this is communication that could be going awry, or someone from the past coming in that was in your inner circle that was a lover here. That's panicking now because they can see that you're moving forward with someone else that is going to be very beneficial to you. This could be a group of people that have been working together to keep you, they don't want you in this position. But this is God's plan for you to be victorious, so too bad. It's just like the Hierophant is like, too bad. The King of Swords is too bad. The star energy is going to shine. This is God's word. This is God's plan. What are you going to do about it? You know, you have to surrender. It's like, definitely, it's saying you need, but see, it's really important that if you've been carrying the burden, because these are people in your inner circle, you need to lay down those wands and say they're just going to have to surrender and deal with this bullshit that they caused. And you've been very patient waiting for this to happen, but God is impatient now. That's what this is saying. Temperance is when you control your emotions. Again, notice how many times, and it's coming up in every reading, to chill out a little bit. You don't want to be like freaking out here, because there's a lot coming in. If you're in this energy and you've been dealing with this and you're wondering when, like, this can be like having enough devotion to stay on your path. And we can be talking about a very long time that this has been happening. This is 10 wands here. And you're tired, but this is saying that your devotion, and it's not until you put these burdens down and let go of the people that you care about, maybe that are in your inner circle, and you say, okay, they're just going to have to deal with what happens. I'm not carrying this load for them anymore. And this can be saying that they're trying to set you up so that you are carrying the load for them. And then we have this energy of the Hierophant on top of this energy here. We're definitely talking about some sort of weird energy coming in about the maternal bloodline. Something's going on somewhere back whenever. I mean, this is so common right now in the readings. It's common because Uranus is in Gemini, and Uranus has not been in Gemini since 1941 to 1949. And bottom line is, Uranus wants the truth to come out. So if you're on the right side of the law, Uranus is your best friend. The truth is kind of come out about every situation. And if you're on the wrong side of the law, it's a pain in the butt because you've been caught. And the Hierophant is sitting right on that. So whatever's going on, it could be way back from 1941 to 1949. That was 75 years ago. This is coming up in a lot of the readings. I mean, we are still finding out truth that is coming in from World War II energy. I mean, it's been, and Uranus is with us until 2033. So you may have noticed in the news, like people, like a lot of shift is being brought up from the past right now. And things that you thought, oh, those people will never be brought to justice. And they are being brought to justice. And the truth is coming out in the weirdest ways. You may be like, it's like, okay. And so you didn't expect the truth to come out that way. And we have Sagittarius energy here. This is about the energy expanding and contracting. So I feel things are coming back into order. But the interesting thing in the star constellation of Sagittarius, there's a black hole that a lot of people feel is the heart of the Milky Way. And that is not, it's saying right here, that is not, this is also Sagittarius energy. This is saying this is not just God's plan, but it's also the universal heart, like it's a cosmic energy saying, the universe is saying, things need to be put back into order. Boom, it's happening, right? So it's happening, it's coming in. And so, hang in there. Don't get yourself all worked up. Now's a good time to just chill out a little bit. I mean, you have to look after yourself and make sure you're doing so. But at the same time, you don't have to get overly emotional about all of this going on. You've been dealing with it for a long time, and don't keep going. Don't give up now. That's for sure. All right. I do hope this has been a benefit to you. Thank you for your likes, comments, shares, subscribes. I really appreciate them and your time and energy. I will be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now, Cancer.